Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. We've got a special guest here with us today. Please give a Moon Audio welcome to Bill Voss, Technics Business Development Manager here in the US. We're going to be diving into all things Technics turntables, from its rich history to its innovative technology and what you can expect from Technics in the future.
Hi, thank you, Kayla. Thanks for having me on today. Pleasure to be here with you.
So if I've got it right, next year Technics will be approaching 60 years of business.
Yeah.
And you guys have gone down a really long road.
We have. 1965, we were born. A lot of people would, if you ask people what they think of when they think of what Technics' first product might have been, it was not a turntable. It was actually a two-way loudspeaker at the time. So it's very interesting to see all the different products we've created since then, but it's been a long road. It's been an interesting road. There have been many firsts, technology-wise and product-wise, and just amazing products we've had over the years. And that culmination of all that research and design carries on to what we've brought back to the product line and the brand since 2015 in the U.S. when the product line came back to the U.S. So very happy to be part of this Technics brand since I came in around 1975. I think I sold my first Technics turntable in a small retail shop working part-time in high school. So there's been a lot. I've been there for 40 of the 60 years anyway. So
yeah, I was going to say that it's uncommon these days that you get somebody that kind of stays with a company for that long. So you've seen Technics through it all, and I think that's one of the things that's so interesting about Technics, and specifically the turntables. I feel like when a lot of people think Technics, they immediately associate the brand with turntables, but you guys have product lines that expand far beyond turntables. And when I was doing my research, I think one of the most fascinating things was the fact that Technics actually took like a 6-ish year hiatus in 2010 when, thanks to Apple, digital music skyrocketed and those vinyl lovers and CD lovers kind of diminished. If I'm correct, you guys kind of came back on the scene in 2015 at CES, one of the audio shows, and you were met with lots of eager audiophiles saying, "Where are the turntables at?"
No question. And that first year in 2015, there were no turntables in that suite. And we showed two incredible digital audio systems, high-resolution digital audio systems. At that time, streaming was, early in its popularity, where we didn't have as many streaming services. The way to stream was off, most people were streaming from their NAS drives or their computers or in their home, but the streaming services came shortly after that. The next few years it just became more and more popular, but everyone that came in was just so happy to see the Technics brand back in the design that they've come out with, digital amplification, high-resolution loudspeakers, very specialized digital technology for all the products that we offered there. And then everyone just wondering, when are you going to come out with a turntable again? And that first year, we really told them that we kind of did that already. Vinyl isn't dead, but, we had really at that point publicly no plan to introduce a turntable. And of course, the next year we came out with the SL1200 GAE limited edition at the same show. So somebody was thinking about it. In fact, there was quite a long line of social media requests to our director of Technics to please bring back the SL1200 turntable. After we stopped making it, it was such a tool of the trade for the DJ community, and so many people in the audiophile community loved the turntable so much, they just wanted to have it back. And it was part of the drive that helped us bring the turntable back. And
yeah, I can only imagine what the audiophile community's reaction was to seeing you guys again, because, like you mentioned, the SL1200 turntable really had the chokehold on the 70s and the 80s when it came to turntable lovers. I feel like anytime, you read or hear about that turntable, everyone's like, yep, that was it. That was the go-to during that time, standard for DJs, for any vinyl enthusiast. So speaking of that turntable, what was it about that turntable that you think really put Technics on the map and kind of made it a household name during that time with vinyl lovers and DJs and audio pros?
Direct drive. Direct drive was really the what made the 1200 so successful. But Technics invented direct drive in our history in 1970, and let me share a slide just to show you the original.
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know what direct drive technology is, if you could just share some information about that, and just what makes it so different from what everybody was simply used to.
Yeah, I'm sorry to talk over you there.
Oh, no, you're
in
fine.
1970, remember, the world was listening to the radio, and we were playing records. But in a studio, in a radio station, they had a couple of turntables that were spinning 24/7, spinning vinyl, and they were using belt drive systems and idler drive systems, all which needed maintenance at some point. When you're going 24/7, there's a lot more maintenance involved. And they went, they were used as a tool, so they didn't really, they're not quite as delicately operated like we would use our own turntable. So they got beat up pretty good. And when Technics came out with the direct drive standard for them, it was literally just a drive system. It wasn't a complete turntable system. So they just pulled out their existing decks and they dropped in the drive system, and they never really turned back again. They just kept enjoying the direct drive, and many of these original systems are still in use after all this time. So what happened was the idea of direct drive, which is literally a motor and a platter spinning at the same speed, is really the first simple aspect of it. And then it's just the ability to hold that speed perfectly and control it, vary the pitch if you want to, and to give us the highest torque and highest braking. A lot of this all sort of it all came into play. There's many generations of the SP10 that you see in the background of this image, and the SL1200. Those were the two very first models. SP10 and then the SL1200 came along in 1972 in its first iteration, but then it became the SL1200 Mark II in 1979. So over all those years, and it kind of goes into one of your other questions, Kayla, is that it's just been discovered, and DJism was discovered all around the use of these turntables. Belt-driven turntables, idler drive turntables, where you couldn't really back cue effectively and you couldn't scratch, and all these terminology and DJism and turntablism kind of was invented alongside the 1200, and collaboration with them. Techniques designed many, many different series of these over the years. If I can share another image, I'll see if I can find.
Yeah.
This is what the turntable eventually became. This is one of the ads for the original SL1200 Mark II. That was in 1979, and a lot of first happened in 1979 in the industry. It's funny. It's also the same time the Walkman was introduced. And ESPN came on the air in 1979, I think. So a lot of stuff was happening, but this was, in my mind, the biggest story, of course. And we made so many different options and accessories in the turntable lineup, just to give you some idea. But this new design came about with collaborations from DJs using these in clubs, asking us to add a pitch fader instead of the original rotational device to adjust pitch. It was a round, tuning knob. Now we added a pitch fader here, and we added a pop-up target light so the DJ could see in a nighttime lit club, and they could work their trade easily. And there's all kinds of different ways that it became important to, use the turntable. Buttons and things like that are positioned very specifically for that kind of use, and this is what it evolved into. And today, even till today, the SL1200 GAE that was introduced in 2015, that G model style was designed very specifically after this original model. So it's an iconic design, and it's something that Technics is very proud of, and we're very happy to still be making this turntable after all this time and having such a demand follow it, We're in what we call the fourth generation of direct drive for Technics now, so a lot has happened since then. So that's our history. That's why direct drive is so important, because it's just one of those, it's a system you don't have to tweak or pay attention to repair or service. It just runs. There's no belts. There's no adjustments to be made. And if you don't like all those bells and whistles of the target light, the pitch fader, the strobe light, the etchings on the platter, we make a model called the SL1500C, and also a new model called SL1200G, which removes all that stuff and keeps the high quality direct drive system in there. That makes just more aesthetic, a more pleasing aesthetic to some people that feel this style is a little too, industrial or, techie for them, and they, truthfully, I use the target light quite a bit, but I don't have much of a use for the pitch fader other than to demonstrate it, or the strobe for that matter. I mean, I know the motor's turning at the perfect pitch, so it's just part of the style, and we offer it now in many different iterations. So,
yeah. So actually touching on the SL1500C, which is one of the turntables that we do carry here at Moon Audio. It's kind of advertised as like a great piece for entry-level vinyl enthusiasts, people who just, like you said, they just want to listen. They don't maybe need all the bells and whistles that kind of come along with, the turntables that your very discerning, dedicated audiophiles and DJs might use. Could you tell us a little bit about that model?
Well, Kayla, the good news is that you could, an audiophile could jump in at any point in our line, whether it's a 1500C or a 1200G, and just have an incredible appreciation. We've had some of our dealers even try out the 1500C with cartridges, 10 times the price of the turntable, and enjoyed the performance immensely. So with any of our turntables, the jump-in point is based on your affordability or what you're willing to pay, what level you want to come in at. But no matter what you do, any one of these models, 1500C, 1200GR, 1200GR2, 1200G, they're all available in silver or black, and the model designation is specific in some cases, and the 1500 is also available in white, so silver, black, and white for the 1500. And the 1300 new model, which we'll talk about soon, is the same similar look, but with the 1200 with a lot of the G functionality and features. So the end user can really enjoy it at any point. It's just, do they need the extra fortifications, I guess, would be the word of a G. It weighs almost twice as much as a 1500C, and it has a lot to do with the build quality. There's a lot of different materials used in the better models as well. So these things all go to that end decision, and there's quite a bit of reviews out there, quite a bit of awards, and plenty to read about. And our website is very informative. If anyone needs to go to the website to get more information on everything, is up there. So much detail is there, and all our turntables are award-winning turntables also. So it's very easy to make a decision, and pretty sure you'd be happy with any one of these.
Yeah. So elaborating a little bit more on the different turntables that you guys offer, I know if you head over to Technique's website, you will see, excluding the DJ series of turntables, you are going to see 3 different series. You guys have the premium class, the grand class, and the reference class. Kind of at a high level overview, what can you tell us about the differences maybe between those classes?
Well, the classes are there. We have other products within the classes. So we have a premium line that has more affordable products, all-in-one systems. What else is in the premium class? We have a digital integrated networking amplifier that has HDMI ARC capability, so it can be integrated into an audio-video system. We have, there's a set of loudspeakers, 2-way bookshelf speaker that's also in the premium series. So the turntable just happens to fit in that series because it's more in the right price range. It just happens to kind of fall in there. There's not a real specific designation. The warranties might be slightly different in some cases, but when you jump to the grand class, I guess that would be representative of probably the best the best product for the money. Our Grand Class system at $15,000, I could describe it by model. We've presented it at many shows, and a lot of the reviewers at the shows give us best sound for the money in many cases at Expona and some of the other shows we've been at. And it's a $15,000 system, integrated amp, CD networking, player, and direct drive turntable, and Technics loudspeakers, and everything is digital amplification, high resolution loudspeakers, and all of that would be our Grand Class. So at that price point, I would put it up against a lot of higher price systems. So it's got incredible synergy. And our reference class is comprises just a few models, and that's our flagship turntables, SP10R, SL1000R, and the SUR1000 big integrated amp, which you carry, I think, and really just incredible product, and essentially our last word. And all of that was designed on all based, evolving from that original SP10 and from the original amplifier design that we've had with beautiful power meters and things like that, and all digital technology evolved to where we are today, which I do believe is the state of the art from Technique's perspective of our digital amplification. So it's pretty exciting, and that, I guess that'd be the best way to explain the different classes. There's not a real simple explanation for it that makes it real clear, but
yeah, but that's great for the first time shopper to kind of know that the differences is more so price point, the more expensive the turntable, maybe the higher quality materials, kind of things used in that regard. Is there anything particularly unique that you'd want to share regarding the SL1500C, SL1200D, the SL1210G, and then the GR2 variant of those turntables? Those are the ones that we do sell at Moon Audio.
You're getting wound up with all those model numbers, which can be intricate. A lot of our dealers complain about the complexity of the model numbers, but everything has a purpose, believe it or not. Every number means something from our factories. But the 1500C is an ideal choice for, again, as I say, there's some very special things in the 1500C that will allow you to, depending on what your needs are, because it comes with a phono cartridge from the factory. It comes with a nice Ortofon 2M red already mounted and calibrated. Just plug it in and balance it and you're good to go. It also has a phono preamp built in if you don't have a phono preamp in your equipment, so you can easily connect that to a system with using the built-in phono preamp. But if you're a purist and you have your own phono preamp in your integrated amp and you don't want to use the one that's built in, you can actually switch it off and it completely takes it out of the circuit, from the power supply to the connections completely. So there's no pollution from that being in the unit. And you can also change the cables very easily. Power cords, RCA cords. You can use any cartridge, I think, on the market on there. I don't want to say it, any cartridge, but just about any cartridge available will be, usable in that tone arm. Very flexible to fit a wide variety of cartridges if you want to, improve it. It just happens to come that way from the factory. It also has a very nice feature. I don't know if you use a turntable at home yourself, Kayla, but at the end of a record, audiophile turntables just kind of, nothing happens at the end of the record. You've got to get up and you've got to lift up the arm and you have to flip over the record or what have you. In the old days, a lot of the turntables were made with auto return or fully automatic, and you can repeat the record, or you could even stack 6 records on there and play one after another. This is what turntables have done over the years, but audiophile turntables generally are manual transcription turntables, which all of ours have been except for that 1500C in the new line, which is, you can, at the end of the record, it will at least lift up to protect the stylus if you fall asleep or forget the record is playing, and it won't be playing the next morning when you wake up, to protect your stylus. And if you don't want that feature, you can delete that. Not delete it, but you can turn it off. So that's nice. The 1500, and it appeals to a wide audience. Again, it doesn't have the 1200 styling, but if you go to the 1200 GR2, the SL1300G or the SL1200G, those are the next 3 steps. And the 1200 models are based on that 1200 style with the iconic design with the pitch fader, the strobe etchings, the target light, high torque in the motors, and they're made for either DJ use or audiophile use. And everything about these turntables, including the 1500C, use our third generation coreless direct drive system. So its iron core has been removed from the motor to eliminate cogging, which has always been a concern when designing a direct drive system, to eliminate any micro vibrations that would be there. And when you look at a GR2, 1200 GR2, or if you look at a 1300G, these are the two latest models, which are part of the fourth generation of Technics direct drive. And what they do is they offer a digital digital circuitry on an analog. As much as these turntables are analog turntables, they have a digital drive system. So it's called the Delta Sigma drive system, and it uses a digital process to keep the speed accurate and to also remove further micro vibrations. Hard to believe they found a way to actually improve it, but we do learn a few things. And they've applied that to the new SL1300G, which was just introduced recently. And the 1300G is like that 1500 style, and it takes away all the G features as far as 1200 look, but it has all the G motor and the twin rotor motor, and it has the 3-layer platter with the brass layer, and really just a high quality system. And each one is priced appropriately, so you can take yourself through the line from $12.99 to $42.99, excuse me, and pick what's best for you. And again, all within each class, they're priced appropriately, I think, and versus our competitors, I think they offer some of the best performance that one could get.
Yeah, that's great to hear, because I feel like sometimes, especially when you get excited about a new product or you find something that you really want, and sometimes you get sticker shock when you see the price. And it's not often that this happens, but I'm not going to say that it never happens in cases where you're not exactly getting the full value that you pay for. So just between the technology that's implemented in the turntables, between the Delta Sigma, the tone arm design, which I love, which I would love to talk about a little bit. I feel like you get every penny and more back in performance with the Technics turntables.
And remember, they have a 3-year parts and labor warranty. And the funny thing is, you can go back and find many of those original 1200 Mark IIs still in service, from 40 years ago. So it's not unusual at all. I have a bunch of old model Techniques in my basement, and they're still working, So as far as the tone arm goes, I would say that there is a bit of a story behind it. Many people look at that tone arm and they look at the whole 1200 and they say, oh, it's the same as the old model. It looks the same, so it must be the same. But that's not the case. A lot of love and care went into the design of that of the new tone arm. And with the G models, when they brought that G model out in 2016, there was some gentlemen the engineers that were actually on the original 1200 design team, guys like 94 years old, but his company employs elderly engineers to keep their skills sharp, and
that's great.
They brought his company back in to help us assist to get the high sensitivity rating to be the same as the legendary EPA 100 tone arm, which is, you find one of those on the used market, they're like, I don't know what you would pay for it, but they're very coveted, and they used ruby bearings in those original models. So the story behind the tone arm is that a lot of re-engineering has been done to the gimbal suspension, and as much as it looks the same, the sensitivity has been improved to the same level as that EPA 100. And when we talk about sensitivity, it's, records are not perfect by any means. They have warps, they have eccentricities, they have very well-made records, and some are not well-made at all. Some of my favorite records are not very well-made, and they don't always sound great, but the music is there, and there's nothing I can do about it, but I want to enjoy it to the best that I can, and a Technics turntable properly fitted can give you all that enjoyment, and at least you'll be able to hear it the best way that you can. Even if it's got a warp or an eccentricity, that arm will recognize a lot of that, and just track almost anything, so it's a very nice nice design. And with the VTA adjustment, with the 1200 models, you can adjust that if you get really good at it. It's very easy to adjust for 200 gram vinyl or 180 gram vinyl or various thicknesses of platter mats and things like that. It's just a wonderful feature. And if you've played with that functionality with other turntables, not as easy to adjust with others. So this is why people love the 1200 style so much. And the 1500 and the 1300, which don't share that same adjustment, still have VTA adjustment. It's just a little different to set it up, and it's still easy, but not as easy as a 1200. So that's one of the key features that I think people like about it, especially if they use a variety of cartridges and head shells. It's very easy to change the head shell. I can have if you have the right configuration of cartridges, and you can switch from a mono cartridge to a stereo cartridge in 10 seconds, if you have the right combination of head shell cartridge weight. So it can be very, very easy. Other turntables might take you an afternoon to take your old cartridge off and reinstall the new one. So.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say, is sometimes part of or really half the frustration sometimes is just getting the cartridge fitted properly. You get excited, you buy a new one, and then you're like, oh, well, all right, here we go. Now I'm going to spend like an hour, like you said, sometimes like up to 3 hours, just making sure that it's perfect. And I know you shouted out the Ortofon cartridges. We do sell those at Moon Audio. So if you're interested in those, we've got them. They have an ingenious design to just plug and play pretty much. So, if you want the all-in-one and you've never tried Ortofon cartridge, get the whole package. Get the 1500. It comes with it.
And the good news with any of our turntables, even when I go to these shows and things, in 15 minutes I could have any of our turntables set up and running by the owner's manual description and just get incredible sound. I mean, I don't need more than 15 minutes. And
you're a seasoned pro.
I think anybody that has mounted a cartridge in the past, in 15 minutes they can have it up. I mean, and then from there you can tweak it to your heart's content, because you can make all kinds of adjustments with all the capabilities and flexibility that we have. So, yep.
Yeah, so from what I'm hearing is no penny required for the tone arm, and then no frustration when it comes to cartridges.
I think you're on the right track. It's just a lot of people really worry about a lot of these things, and I think that's what's so great about our turntables is they're not fussy. They're just great result, and you can take it as far as you like in the upgrade department as well. If you want to upgrade head shells, cartridges, cables, footers, you name it. Platter mats.
Yeah, and do you guys offer a lot of those parts and things like that on your website?
Not really. The parts are set. The parts that we sell would be sold to support the repair of any turntable. So we don't sell like the industry sells an aftermarket like crazy. I mean, there must be dozens of different platter mats and probably 100 different head shell choices and cables and things like that. So no, we sell our parts if necessary through parts distributor, but we don't sell them through the sales company.
So tell me about the Technics sound. Is there a sound signature with Technics turntables?
Well, as I mentioned, the synergy of that Grand Class system, the Technics team of engineers and designers actually sit together and listen and make a decision on what things sound like, what they look like, what the design and concepts are, and it's a very thorough process. I've been invited to join. I haven't been able to get to Japan to do that recently, but the end result is arrived at from these opinions and everyone listening and designing, and I think that the Technics sound is just brilliant, subtle, nuance. There's a million audiophile descriptions that you could have for it. It's an appreciation that I was always, critical of as an audiophile, but this is also my job, right? It's my career, my job, but I'm also an audiophile, so I'm always worried, am I going to be critical of my own company? But everything that they've come out with for its price and its class and its feature set, it's been right where it needs to be, and then some is the way I look at it. So, that brain the Brain Trust has really done their homework, and every product that we come out with, even the two new products that we just introduced earlier in September, the new active loudspeaker and the new 1300G turntable, just incredible products and ideal for what people are asking for and what people are looking for today in an active loudspeaker system with streaming, digital amplification, plus phono stage. So all kinds of excellent features that are appropriate for the time, I guess.
Yeah. So as you just mentioned, you guys do have a new turntable that was just recently announced, the SL1300G. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That is going to be available to customers toward the end of the year?
November, December is when, if you've got them on order, that's when the first deliveries would be made. And it's going to be, first arrivals are always, spread out to all the dealers so everybody can get some. So if you're looking to get that in, to your customers, to yourselves, get your orders in so that you can get in the queue. But they're beautiful, available in black or silver, and just an incredible style, an incredible look, incredible sound. We've got a lot of posts on the internet from the launch. We did a lot of presentations to the press, but the reviews should be coming soon, and from the audiophile press, and then they can hear their opinion on that.
Perfect. What can we expect from that turntable?
1200G like performance without all the bells and whistles, or all the 1200 styling and features, that might, not appeal to everyone. So not every bit of a G, but a lot of it. The heart, the coreless, twin rotor coreless drive system, and the 3-layer platter are all in the 1300G. So that's kind of the heart of the drive system is in that 1300G. And all the other things that a G has, there are quite a few things that a G still offers for the extra money, namely a magnesium tone arm, which would probably be the highest contributing factor to the sound of the G. When I'm playing these new models and that new 1300 turntable, I have a clear understanding of all the different sounds from all the models, and there are definitely apparent differences, and I can really enjoy the improvements, and it, I just love what I'm hearing. So
yeah,
I hope your customers can come in and give it a listen and try all these new products, and get as excited as we are about them.
Yeah, we've got some of Technics turntables that we do carry upstairs. So if you are interested and you're local to our headquarters and you do ever want to come by and demo a Technics turntable, please reach out to us at our website, and we would love to have you guys to come over, demo a turntable, and hopefully pick up your next Technics turntable.
Yeah, I enjoyed the video walkthrough of the showroom. It was very nice to see that, and happy to see all my products on display there. So
yeah,
keep up the great work and enjoy listening.
Yeah, so thank you so much for going over Technics turntables, the history of Technics, the newest release, the 1300G. Unless there's anything else that you would like to add just about Technics turntables in general, I think we can wrap it up, because we do have another exciting YouTube video with Bill that'll be coming out where he's speaking with Drew on Technics amplifiers. So stay tuned for that as well.
Yeah. No, I don't think I have any more to add. You asked a lot of great questions, Kayla. I hope that I answered them properly for you, and always available if you need me, and looking forward to the finished product. So thank you for having me, and looking forward to speaking with Drew.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like always, please subscribe. Any comments you have about Technics turntables, drop them in the comments, and we would love to engage in a conversation with you about them. Give this video a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.